It's a conflicting situation.
It's conflicting. It conflicts I think like the
Yeah, yeah,
soul of
yeah,
an
yeah,
artist
yeah.
is so I agree. And there's that aspect. It's tough, you know. Better let someone else sell it. I would love someone to sell my work. You know, I could talk about all these other artists' work with glee, but then somebody looks at mine and I'm like, well, I don't
Same
really
thing.
know.
Same thing. 20 years in marketing, still, it's easier to sell someone else's work.
Welcome to In the Art Scene, a podcast about art world and people in it. I'm your host, Galina Marcus.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In the Art Scene podcast. I'm your host, Galina Marcus. And just a quick reminder that this podcast is a part of San Diego Art Directory, which now is having a new home for the show notes. So if you want to see the show notes, you need to go to SanDiegoArtistNetwork.com and click the tab on the menu that says podcast. And all the new show notes are going to be hosted there. We have a link to our archive. That was our previous website. Just a little housekeeping here. I am very happy to be joined by Joshua Rios, who is the Chief Operating Officer slash curator slash co-owner slash gallery manager slash the guy who makes it done in a wonderful little gallery in Seaport Village, San Diego. So, hi Joshua, please introduce yourself and let's get the conversation.
Yeah, hi, thank you. I think you got all of the slashes there. Can't think of any off the top of my head. So it's nice to have this opportunity. And yeah, I look forward to it.
So let me ask you a couple things. What is the name? What is the exact location of the gallery? Because I know that Seaport Village is, it's not huge, but it's quite compact and quite vibrant. So I want to make sure that if anyone wants to visit San Diego and finds themselves in a very touristy place such as Seaport Village, will be able to find you.
Yeah, so the gallery is called Art Scene West. It's in Seaport Village now. It was originally established in Solana Beach on South Cedros for a couple years, but then it closed down and then we opened up here. And we're on the east side of Seaport Village. So we're on the less, let's say, busy side. We're right behind the Hyatt Towers. So that's the way I like
Ah,
to describe it to people, yeah, who are coming here for the first time. We're on the side right behind the Hyatt Towers, next to Ben and Jerry's. But there's
oh,
two Ben and
that's
Jerry's.
a landmark, Ben and
Well, there's
Jerry's.
two. So we're on remember the east side because there's another Ben and Jerry's on the busier side. And people, I used to say Ben and Jerry's was a landmark, and then everybody was getting here and they're broken in sweat, and they're like, I thought you said Ben and Jerry's. But they're coming like from all the way on the other side. So we're right by it's called the Lighthouse District because there's a kind of a lighthouse tower, and but we have a beautiful courtyard here with a stage where they do live music every Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So I think this is I like this side of Seaport Village. It's less busy. There's a lot of renovation happening with a restaurant coming in. We're kind of next to Sally's Fish House, which is I guess is a popular restaurant. I've never eaten there, but they're down for renovations. But yeah, we've been open since July 4th of 2024. And
Oh, so you're practically brand new.
practically, I guess. For me personally, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like we've been open for years now because it's just,
Well, you've done a lot since last year. Yeah.
yeah, we've come a long way. And I've been trying to document it through pictures, obviously. And I think it's really interesting to see where we started and where we're at now, just the quality of art we have. I think we've always had pretty high quality art in the gallery, but just the diversity of art that we're continuously getting in. Um, it feels like we've been here a lot longer because we've like the gallery's taken so many new forms, but gradually it's coming into its own kind of groove here.
Yeah, and I have so many questions because I've seen since the last year when you started managing this gallery, I've been seeing so many different movements, and I think you hopped almost immediately on San Diego Art Directory to promote everything you're doing, which is amazing. So before I ask my questions, just want to give everybody heads up that Josh is recording right from the gallery, so there might be some distractions and the connection is a little bit choppy, so bear with us. We're going to make that done, and we're going to get the really good episode for you. So one of the questions, so you came into this business to, like, you didn't found the gallery, like you came to uh, re activate the gallery as I understand that. And there are lots of things that I see you doing are actually community facing, which is the art walk. I've never heard of, Seaport Village Art Walk, and now it's a regular thing. Um, there are other things that you're doing, which I would like for you to tell us about. Uh, but before we get there, tell me about your background. Have you done this before?
Yeah, and have I done this before? No, I can't say I have. It's a new thing for me. But I'm, so about it. I'm so like passionate and eager. Um, so my background is with Art Scene West specifically. I came in as an artist originally, um, through a kind of just well, obviously they're not random anymore, but I was showing my art at the Art San Diego, the big convention show in 2020, 2021 or 22. And yeah, 2022. And this guy was he was looking for artists to host a show in Art Scene West, kind of as a third party curator. And so I got in to this exhibition. It was a 3-person exhibition, and into Art Scene West when it was in Solana Beach. And I hadn't been in a gallery in San Diego before, so I thought it was just like a big opportunity for me. So yeah, that was just a 3-week exhibition, and I actually sold a large piece of art there, which was great. It was the largest work I sold.
Always a win.
One, it was a 36 by 36. It wasn't even a piece I liked that much. It wasn't, but some guy loved it, and I put a lot of work into it. So I was like, great. Sorry, there's a tractor going by.
That's okay.
So, yeah, I was very eager when I met the owner. I was very eager to kind of be of help, and he kind of brought me in and said, why don't you be a resident artist? You'll volunteer for X amount of days at the gallery, and we'll show you work, and you'll have some responsibilities. And so I was all about that, and going up to Solana Beach was nice. I live in University Heights, so I didn't mind going up there, manning the gallery. I'd never done that before, and yeah, I curated a show there, and it just kind of showed that I was really eager to do it. But eventually, the owner just decided not to continue there. I don't know why. I can see it. We didn't get a lot of traffic at that time.
Yeah, Cedros is just changing. There's like the whole environment of that street. It used to be such artsy, and I know some artists that had their, like, private galleries over there. And since they've reconstructed a lot of things, and the Leaping Lotus has become like a office space. Yeah, I see why a lot of artists just left.
Yeah, in the gallery, I know big gallery, Exclusive Collections. Before they left, I went in there and spoke with their owner for a bit, and she told me her plan was to come downtown from there, and that was before we were moving or closing our doors up there. So yeah, apparently there are some changes happening that I wasn't too familiar with the area before, so I just kind of took it for face value, and I liked it. It's nice, kind of slow pace. But yeah, we ended up closing the doors there in Seaport Village, kind of packing it all away, the art, everything into the storage. And then that was it for a year. I wasn't part of Art Scene West anymore. I was still showing my work at street shows and all the events that I could. And then the owner reached out to me about a year later and started talking to me about doing an event. I always had ideas that I was open to sharing. And so me and him met over several meetings, dinner, lunch, coffee, and we came up with a kind of a pop-up event. And he brought me in as a co-owner of Art Scene West, and gave me the title of Chief Operating Officer, which it felt like a very big hat to wear when it wasn't really like who's going to notice this thing and why. I never needed that, um but it makes sense because I've been I planned that event from the ground up. Things that I'm not good at, like social media and all of that, that's now, dedicated careers that people do. I was just never liked it, but when you had to do it, you have to do it. So anyways, just we had a successful event. It was called the Finest Art Showcase San Diego. Name is a lot, it's a mouthful. But it was successful. Surprisingly, we had over 100 people come. Most of them were the artists that submitted. It was a juried show. I met our judge. I was a substitute teacher for San Diego Unified for 7 years. And I met our judge at a school he was subbing at. He's a professional artist now teaching at elementary schools.
What's his name?
Christopher Peluso.
Uh-huh.
So he's got art in San Diego in the museum, the Air and Space Museum in Petco Park. So I was like, yeah, do you want to be our judge? I was actively looking for a judge, and he was on board. So yeah, he judged the event. We awarded the winners. We had music. We had a nonprofit at the event. Villa Musica provided music. We gave proceeds. We had a wine sponsor, a beer sponsor. Modern Times Beer sponsored us and basketball. So it was just really successful after a lot of work. I'll never do it again. I don't have to. You would have to pay me a lot of money. It was a really, and we just did it. I just did it because I thought if this is successful, then at least we have something to kind of talk about. So it was kind of just just a great opportunity to have the opportunity, and then to have it be good and pleasant, no accidents, nothing crashed down. It was crazy. We built all the panels to hang the art on. Well, I did with my dad. And because the room we rented wasn't equipped we couldn't nail anything into the wall, and we didn't have enough easels, and we were accepting big pieces of work, like 40 inches, about 60 inches, crazy big pieces. Like, well, how are we going to hang these? So we built these panels, which all the wood that we used for that show, and we had 70 pieces of art in the show, I've used since for the gallery. So I've repurposed all that wood and made shelves and just shelves, which we sell art off of now. And this big wall we have here that we hang art, and it also acts as a closet. So we've repurposed that wood for the gallery, but so how we got into Seaport Village was through our wine sponsor, San Pasquale
Mm-hmm.
Winery. They have a place in La Mesa, their headquarters, and then they have a tasting room in Seaport Village. And in my meeting with him, he mentioned that there was a vacant little room behind his tasting room, that I should ask the port if they would get us in here for a few months for a deal. And so that's what happened. I reached out to the port, and over a period of time since just about a month, we made it happen that we could come in here and operate in here. For
So, and that's the room where you're in right now?
Yeah, that's the same room.
How big is that?
Tiny. It's very small. It's really,
So
it's
it just fits in the screen, right? Like that's all I see
like
in the screen.
my hand is touching the other wall here.
Oh my God.
But we have a very tall ceiling. So it feels like it's for a small gallery, it has a lot of space in it. And we have art hanging up on the second floor, on this catwalk. So it feels bigger than it is. And we hang a lot of work in here. So I'm curating it. I'm putting pieces in like a puzzle because I tried just having one row of art on the walls.
Yeah,
And
but when you have such a variety, it's difficult. I know, I feel you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
people were like walking in and walking out, like because it's so small, they saw everything, and then so I was like, you know what, let's give them more to look at, so they stay in here longer than 3 seconds, and then it's worked,
That's great. So artist to artist, tell me, how does it affect your artistic practice to be now a chief operating officer and being in charge of the entire gallery and all the events that you guys are putting up there? Like,
Yeah. I wasn't painting for a while, but it's actually blossomed my artistic practice because one of the ideas that I had, to kind of make us more relevant here was the painting parties. So we do guided painting parties here. And I originally thought paint and sip. That's the
mm-hmm,
concept without the wine. And I was looking for like instructors.
mm-hmm,
I just couldn't find any that made sense for us. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna have to do this. And I I didn't want to, right? I really tried hard, but it just wasn't gonna make sense. So I use oil for my
uh-huh,
personal paintings, but for these we use acrylic, and I thought, well, that's like taking a step in the same direction. It's the same thing, right? But it's not. Acrylic is
it's
so
not,
much
no.
different than oil. And so that was a huge learning curve for me. I was now like learning this new medium and painting like crazy. I mean, I hadn't painted so much in my life. I was like every day painting, just to practice to get better, but not for myself, like paint, like, easy images for anybody that they can
Yeah,
paint.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've been painting a lot lately, but
All right. So
I've been painting my own.
I didn't include all the slashes at the beginning.
Yeah, I
And
guess
the
that's
reason
right.
the reason I'm laughing is because this is such a common story that I keep hearing over and over and over again. Like the artist would come, like, yeah, I'm going to volunteer. Why the heck not? I mean, this is an opportunity to show my art. I'm going to work for free. Sure. I'm going to take responsibility for the whole gallery. I'm going to put the event and build the walls and repurpose all of that stuff. We need some art classes and events. I'm going to learn how to be an instructor. Why not? I hate this. I hate social media, but I got to do this. So this is so common, and it just shows how much of, the passion and the drive that we have to make to make arts and culture, shine and bring it out to people, like we will like hop over the hoops and learn whatever we got to learn, just so people will actually, stop by and see and, sign up for the events and maybe buy a piece of art for their home. Right. So I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing because this is so common, and I kind of feel like I'm in the same shoes, because I am a painter. I also have my corporate experience, which I like. Now I've been self-employed since the pandemic. And now running San Diego Art Directory is kind of putting me back in the whole corporate marketing world,
Mm,
plus running a nonprofit that I've never done in my life. Every
mm.
single board meeting we have is like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. This is not what I want to be doing.
Yeah,
But there is a level of bureaucracy that we need to follow, and that's just, I signed up for this. I got to do this.
Mhm.
So yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
That it sounds like you understand it. My business partner likes to use a word. I think he says, well, it's a phrase like necessity is the root of invention, or necessity is the mother of invention,
Uh-huh.
right? So it's like, well, when there's a need, you know
Yeah.
that's when inventions happen. That's kind of, it's in us as humans first, but then as artists,
Yeah.
we're creative. So if there's
Yeah.
a problem, the ideas, suddenly the solutions are kind of popping up. How can, because it's a creative process to problem
Yeah.
solve. And I
Yeah.
thrive in it personally. I like to think, well, I wish I could just paint all day and that's it. And
Yeah, but let's face it, it's gonna be boring, right?
well, that's the truth. It would be boring. I mean, professional artists largely face depression, even musicians, because it gets, anything can get boring, and then it stops being fun. And then it's like, well, now I'm depressed because they don't have time to do anything. So I've always found, I guess my painting kind of coincides. I like to play music and I like to write. And I'll take periods of of rest, putting one to rest while I pursue another, putting that one to rest and pursue another. Do them all together, But so I kind of understand that something can get kind of overdone.
Yeah.
But when you're running a business and stuff, the necessity of it, like, this needs to work. It's just that added pressure that makes, I think, maybe people like you and me thrive a little bit.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And the same thing kind of happened to me. So I left my corporate job right before the pandemic. Then pandemic started, and I was so thrilled because now I have nothing else to do but paint. So I carved the corner in the garage, built up a little studio. Was a little DIY involved in this, like shelves and the work table and easel and all that stuff. And I was happy for a couple months, and then I was bored, and I was like, oh my God, no, I need community. And this is how I started the podcast. And we're in season 11
Yeah,
already. So yeah, here
that's
you go.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know we heard about your organization. A friend of mine, from the gallery, she was texting me and, are you guys on this? And I hadn't heard of you. The art directory. I haven't, but I was like, no. And I was like, perfect, like, this is a local San Diego based arts opportunity website and just everything to do with it. So yeah, we definitely are posting a lot on there.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And it's so cool. So we're San Diego Art Directory is fairly new. So I launched it in September 2023.
Mhm.
So it hasn't been even 2 years.
Yeah.
But it is amazing to see that there is a need that we're filling. And
Yeah.
especially for the galleries, like the smaller, the newer ones like yours, like you had to move, you open a new location, and yeah, you need to bring foot traffic through the door, right? Artists as well
Yeah.
as the residents and tourists, and so that's what we do. So thank you for supporting us by posting your events.
Yeah. I think we even donated to you guys. It was,
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Well,
oh yeah, sure. I didn't know why. I thought, I think I accidentally clicked some things and suddenly I was putting donate, donate. And I was like, what did I do?
well, you
Uh,
know that
good cause.
we accept monthly donations now, right? You can sign up for
Yeah, I
that.
think I know that now. No, it's cool because it as an organization, like Art Scene West, where it was really tough. There was some, we had all the money we made from, which wasn't a lot, but we had what we made from that event to start the gallery, and you'd have to be crazy. Business partner was like, the people don't do this. They don't start a business with very little, to work with. I was like, but it's an opportunity we can't pass up. And so I guess the title gave me the permission to proceed without all the without him necessarily approving. But so yeah, it was tough. Like I thought, well, the worst case scenario is that we're out of here, and that's where we started, right? So there's no bad thing. Uh anyways, we ended up making it, I mean, at least this far. And there were some
Yeah.
where it was really tight, really, and again, I was thinking of what next? How else can we bring people here? And so we had like the art walk, which I changed the name of to the art show.
Okay. So that was my next question. You just took it off my tongue. Uh, yeah. Please tell more.
So yeah, that was an idea. As an artist, I loved the opportunity, and I still do, to show my work. And this is such a nice area, beautiful days. The music's already here. The people are already coming. So I thought, why not invite artists to show their work out there and just make it a complete, day. Um, so we started. It was the art walk, which it was never it couldn't be too big because we just don't have the space. But what we had were people coming in and saying, "Where's the art walk?" And I'm like, "It's right out there. Don't you see? There's artists." And they're like, "Oh no, but with the tents and stuff." Like we read there was an art walk. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." Because you're used to art walks
In
being
Little Italy. Yeah.
yeah, the mission fed art walks and
Yeah.
all the big big events. And I thought, well, we're kind of misleading people here. So let's change it to art show and carry on. And so we do. It was the second Saturday art show. Art, in Seaport Village, and it still is. But we've changed the day from, I wanted it to be in the middle of the month. And this is a
Mhm.
learning process. I should have just kept it as the second Saturday for the consistency. But I know that Logan or Barrio Logan has a second Saturday art walk that's pretty substantial, and that's
Mhm.
street. So I thought, well, we're not really competing, but we kind of are. It's kind of a popular weekend, so let's do middle of the month, and that's sometimes the second Saturday, and sometimes it's the third.
Okay.
So it's not that consistent. Again, I'm just kind of learning. Maybe in the future, next year or later on, we'll just
So
rebrand it.
So what I learned recently, so there is it is a thing. Second Saturday, it is a thing, and not only in Barrio. It's actually among the larger art community. Second Saturday is the day when you kind of do an open studios and like big public events, kind of in the cultural realm. There's another thing that so far I think it was mostly in Liberty Station, the first Friday open studio event. But I also see that some other places are adopting that as well. So first Friday, second Saturday is a thing. And I think it's going to continue until artists will adopt every freaking weekend of the month.
As long as if
Yeah,
it's an alliteration, maybe, you know.
yeah. I
Cool.
don't know.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I've heard of the
So,
first Fridays for
so,
sure.
so let me ask you a few details about this art show. So it is a pop-up. It's outdoors.
Yeah.
So, do you have limited spaces? How many artists do you accept? How do you curate it? Is it a juried show or not? So, how do you envision and do you have a vision for that to grow and expand, or is it going to be content like this for a while?
Yeah, well, okay. The process to submit is very easy. It's on our website. There is a $10 submission fee. And that's, we get it, we record your name, we look at your, I mean, we store your information, log it in, and then we review we ask for 3 photos and a bio and a CV. And so we review the application. And if the work looks like it's, I ask for an example of your presentation because I want to make sure we get artists that have a little experience or are willing to at least put together what they plan to put here and show it in a photo. A lot of the process is just to show a degree of professionalism so that I know the artist will have respect for the gallery, for the place. So it is outdoors. The spaces are limited. Um, I've determined we can have probably up to 10 artists, and they're very downsized booths. They're not like tents. It's a 6 foot by 4 foot space, approximately, that you can show your art. And you can have a 6 foot table, or you can have panels, which artists generally do. And it's in the courtyard. So there's a stage, and then there's the artists around the stage and kind of into the out on the rim of this bowl-shaped courtyard. And it's a seasonal, as far as traffic in Seaport Village. The summer season is really, really popular, very busy. And then in the winter season, not so much. In the fall season, it starts to get, I don't know. I'm still learning what it's like around here.
Well, it's the first year that you've been doing this,
Right.
right? So yeah.
So with that said, we haven't been able to really attract the artists like I was hoping, at least right now. The most we've had is about 7. And on average, we have about 3 artists that are coming here, setting up. And I think it's a great opportunity. Artists who sign up and then they have priority for the next month. But generally, when an artist signs up, I'm putting them on, like, try it out, and then I send, once an artist is in our kind of our database, I always invite them, so they'll still, if we have space. So it's kind of a process. That's why I learned, like, there are things like submission fees and participation fees. I didn't understand that at first. I thought it was just a matter of people trying to make money, but it is kind of a lot. Somebody has to organize it. And
Yeah.
if it's very few people work for free. So I learned that.
And $10 submission fee is really nothing. And like if you have 10 spaces for $10, like what are you making, $100 for putting up
not
the
much.
event, right? So it's
Yeah. And well, we with the submission fee, we also charge a $25 participation fee, which with that, though, we also buy their parking pass. So parking in Seaport it's crazy on the weekends. It gets flooded. So the artists come, they have their parking spot early, they set up, and then we purchase their pass for them. because we have to purchase our own parking. Every day we come to work, we have to pay to go to work. It's crazy. So it's not an easy thing for anyone to get. But we give that to them, and then we kind of clear out the area for them too. So, it's in all of my experience as an artist doing shows and things like that, I've always kind of weighed it like, what's worth it from an artist perspective? Would I do it? And, and so that's kind of the question, would I do it? And that's, if not, then I try to make it to a point where I would do it as an artist. So yeah, those are kind of varying from second Saturday to third Saturday, throughout the rest of the year. But it's always a great time. There's always music, there's people enjoying, sometimes they're dancing.
Come on, you have a wine tasting room right behind the wall. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, we have a wine tasting room, we have the brewery, Mike Hess is selling beer, people are having a great time. With the cruise ships now, they are docking in San Diego, so they're coming in to have the time of their life. And then people are on all the hotels around here. But it's still just a matter of reaching our audience. So we have two audiences. One is the artist, and the other are the people that would love to come. And reaching them both that's the struggle. Like, you could have a great opportunity, but if people don't know it, then it's wasted.
That is an issue. And that's actually, another question that I wanted to ask. So now I know how hard it is to be an artist in San Diego. I'm in the same shoes, right? But now being a gallery owner and like operating business from the other side, when you need to think about the residents and the collectors, not only as, people who appreciate art, but also as means to keep the business going. What are your takes on this? How do you feel what this market is like in San Diego? And you're in the highly touristy place, so you have some advantage of location. But
Yeah.
I wanted to, and I know that you haven't been in this business for very long, but again, having both perspectives as an artist and as a gallerist and a business owner, what does that look like? How does it feel for you?
Well, my first experience getting into a gallery was when I was going to college in San Jose. There was a downtown local gallery. There was a woman, she owned both spaces, and she was the arts queen, you could say. She did the street shows and stuff. So I've been showing work, representing myself at these street events for a long time. And then that local gallery, there was like 100 other artists in there, just to give you this huge space, tiny little setups. So I kind of, when I was starting this to take over this gallery, I was reflecting on all of my experiences, what it was like to represent myself, the cost, the labor to set up, and where I'm at now. And yeah, I always wanted to get into a gallery, even you get into a gallery and 50% of your sale goes to the gallery. And that can seem like a lot. And even to me, I thought, well, that's a lot. That's outrageous, but it's really not, because I've been trying to be a successful, profitable artist on my own for a long time, a decade. And I wasn't successful because it's not about, it's about so many other things. A lot of it being luck, and a lot of it, but most of it being, the pursuit and unwavering pursuit towards what you want, but you can't help it. So you can show at every art show, at every art walk, and you're not guaranteed anything. When I first had my first experience at the Art San Diego event, where I didn't have to set up a tent, and I just came in, I nailed up my my art. And then at the end, I left my art there. And then the next day I came back in and there's my, I thought like, this is it. This is better than setting up and breaking my back, literally like having back pain from setting up the tent, tearing down. Like that's a tough way to make a buck. I've done plenty of those. And at the end of it, I figured, with all the labor, I sold this much art, but it's about, I don't know if I came up, anyways, so I think the gallery business is justified for taking 50% now that I see it because of the overhead. I didn't know that was there. If you have employees, it's not just sitting in a desk. It's at least not when you're a small gallery owner. You're trying to sell the work. You're trying to do everything you can. And so, I mean, I'm lucky I get to show my work inside the gallery now. If I wasn't showing my work in this gallery, I would want to show it in a gallery because it's passive at that point. Your art's there, maybe 20 days out of the month, it doesn't sell, but maybe on the 21st day it sells. And all you did was nothing. You were going about your life, and your art sold. So it's a great way for your art to be seen all the time by hundreds of people. And your name gets out there, we get customers come in and I love this artist. Well, their name's right there. And we live in the era of the internet, and every artist has a website. Smartly, every artist has an Instagram. There's no artist that's hard to find. So if you have your work in the gallery and somebody likes it, they don't say, oh, I love this artist, I'm going to look them up on the internet and see what else they have and buy directly from them. They don't say it, but it's there. They absolutely can. We don't hold it against the artist because I'm an artist. So I guess to answer your question, were I not running the gallery, which again, I've learned a lot about the work and the labor that it takes and the overhead. And it's to sell other people's art, it's to sell their art. But if I wasn't having my work shown in a gallery, I would want it to be shown in a gallery. Because it's really hard. I really admire the artists that can make their own living from their paintings. But I've also known the very, very talented artists that I personally love that aren't able to do that because of just, it's, the audience isn't in front of their face or isn't finding them. It's the internet's great, but it's very competitive.
Yeah, being an artist and being a salesperson at the same time
And that
it's a conflicting situation.
it conflicts I think like the
Yeah,
soul of an artist
yeah.
is. So I agree. And there's that aspect. It's tough, better let someone else sell it. I would love someone to sell my work. I could talk about all these other artists' work with glee, but then somebody looks at mine and I'm like, well, I don't really know.
Same thing. 20 years in marketing, still, it's easier to sell someone else's work than mine. So I have a question about the work. So given the location, given all the experiences that you have had so far in Seaport Village, do you curate a specific style of work that will be easier to move because of all the cruises that are docking in San Diego and tourists that are walking in Seaport Village and other things, or you choose what you like as a curator, as a gallery manager?
Yeah, well, so we're, like you had mentioned, we're in Seaport Village and our location is great for tourists, and we get conferences coming in here from all over the country, and big ones, and then all year round, and then just the tourists all year round. So we have a good location for that. And that's one reason why I really like where we are, and I'm trying so hard to make it feasible for the future. So I kind of curate the gallery first to what my taste, I think, what I like. And but also diversity. My business partner really loves landscapes, so we had a whole landscape show. And we knew 3 artists. We filled the whole gallery up, and it was a beautiful show, but we didn't sell any. So after that, I said, okay, well, now let's do it. Let me kind of feel it more as what I think people would like, not just what I like. So I'm an abstract artist, but we have 3 other abstract artists in the gallery. We've sold abstract. We sold some of mine. We sold some of theirs. We have landscape art because it's really good and you can't deny it. And people have bought in it. We have some photography, and we have small postcards. So I am kind of tailoring the gallery's inventory and display for every kind of tourist first. And, they want to buy a $10 print, or they want to buy, a painting for thousands of dollars. They can. Here, we're not just a high-end art gallery. We sell bracelets and earrings and little tiny paintings this big that do really well.
Oh, those are
But I'm
souvenirs,
kind
of
of
course.
curating it at souvenirs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do the gift shops get a lot of souvenirs? So we rotate an exhibition every couple months. So that rotates. Right now it's surrealism and sports art.
Mhm.
And then after that, it'll be pop art and landscape. And I'm doing 2 at the same time, still trying to figure out what's the draw.
It's like A/B testing kind of thing.
That's right. That's right. And at the same time, I do think, just in my life experience, as an artist showing, I want people of all kinds to come in here and see something they like. So that's why we keep a big diversity of resident artists we have landscape, plein air, impressionistic style. We have international art from Japan and France, which I want to get more of it because I think it's awesome. I want the gallery to be an experience, not, because most of the people coming in are just looking. I do that. I've always done that. I've walked into every art gallery I've ever seen, no intention to buy anything, just to see. As a kid, I kind of thought that's what they were there for. How nice. This business is here for me to enjoy. So,
in a way, sure.
that's why I kind of figure, like, this is an experience. And I want people to see something interesting. So yeah, we do have a lot of kind of, I guess you could say, kind of grainy, gritty art. But then we have the soft, like smooth landscape art. And then we have just pure talent. Look at this awesome drawing I did, or look at this awesome portrait. But we carry a lot of sports art. Christopher Peluso, the judge, he's a resident artist now, and he sells these old vintage magazines, and I think it's great. So I'm not looking for anything. Art Scene West doesn't have a like, I don't know, a specific kind of art only, except that it's just got to be high quality. The artist has to show their passion through their work, and offer something that we don't already have. So like abstract, not abstract is the same. So, the abstract I have is different, but I recognize other abstract art that I like, that I don't make, that other people might like. So we keep that in here. So yeah, just I guess if that answers your question.
It does. Yeah, it does. So we are kind of at the top of the hour, and I feel like I can talk to you for another hour easy.
That's
But
right.
we're gonna keep
Yeah.
keep it. Here's the thing. I also kind of, trial and error. I try to cap the episodes like way back in the beginning when I started at like 30 to 40 minutes. And I realized that in 30 minutes, you're just getting into meat of the conversation because you're talking to an artist. Oh my God. So, but more than an hour is unlikely anyone is going to listen. So I'm trying to keep everything like within an hour. But I always give my guests an opportunity to say something like, I asked what I wanted to ask, or something that came up in the conversation that sparked my curiosity. But if I didn't ask you something that you wanted to bring to the table, now is the time.
Uh, I guess I would say that you've brought it to the table. Just say one thing that the gallery's doing right now that is really interesting is we're hosting a film festival, uh,
Oh,
25th and
okay.
26th. So I've seen the films. They're really good, and I just feel like the gallery, the brand Art Scene West, I guess, has kind of embarked into a whole new respectable realm of what art is, right? And I don't know when this will be published, if anybody will see it and happen to make it to the film festival, but it's just interesting because while we're here, you know, we're trying everything that to the heart's desire, what we can do. And it's just really, it's an exciting journey to see what's going to stick, what's not. And if we're even going to cut it to be here, you know, for years and years to come. But I imagine the whole process is just this big moving body of art, you know, that I'm kind of working on from all these different sides. And
I, I think this is great, and I think this is kind of a recipe for success in my books, because that's what you were talking about. You bring an artist to a business table, and they don't have the notion of how things supposed to be done, right? It's just like, let's just throw it at the wall and see if it sticks, and if it doesn't stick, we'll paint the wall over and start over again. And like, if we have this opportunity, let's milk it, and let's try as many things as we can until we find something that really resonates with people. So I think that this bravery and curiosity and creativity in exploring different elements and different directions where you can go. I mean, how many you have already tried with less than 1 year you've been in this space, right? The outdoor pop-up, we call it a art walk, or a pop-up show, the film festival, resident arts, rotating exhibitions, themed exhibitions, all kinds of things, right? So you're thinking about your personal taste as a curator. You're also looking at the audience that is walking through the doors. You understand the environment that you are in with the conferences and tourists and just passerbyers, the residents of San Diego. So that is, I think, well, first of all, it's a lot to fit in one brain. But then it's also, when you don't have those constrictions in the brain, it's like, yeah, all this information is coming in. It's like, what can I do with it? It's just, this is so cool. So I cheer for you. I really wish you success, and I think you are on the right path. If I were doing the gallery, I probably would have done it the same way. And in a way, in what I do, with the skills that I have, kind of exploring the same things. Like, can we do an event? Can we do a multidisciplinary event? So, spoilers, may be coming in September this year. San Diego Art Directory event. Stay tuned. So, yeah, I think this is great.
yeah, it's the you're right. You set a you bring an artist to the table and to the corporate or the business table. But I guess more so if you bring the starving artist there, they're
Yeah,
gonna come up with a lot of crazy things.
resourceful.
That's right.
Yes, yeah.
That's right. Well, I've had a great time, Galina. Thank you for all your kind words and your encouragement.
Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate you reaching out and wanting to be a guest on the podcast. I really love featuring our local San Diego artists and cultural professionals because there's so much to explore in San Diego. So before we sign off, can you please spell out how people can find you? And I am reminding everybody that you can check out show notes on San Diego Artist Network.com. It's not in the artscene.com anymore. San Diego Artist Network.com. Go to podcast. You will see all the show notes. You will see the information. You will see the headshot so you know what Josh looks like. So when you walk into the gallery, it's like, oh, I'm in the right space. So yeah.
So yeah,
all the links will be there, but you please spell them out.
sure. Or Art Scene West, 3 words. Art Scene West, just like the Art Scene podcast, which I guess it's just a coincidence. We're located in Seaport Village. Our address is 803 West Harbor Drive, but even easier, we're right behind the big Hyatt Towers. So if you're coming in, take a left in that parking lot. Be happy to give you a parking validation just for saying hi. Yeah, we're hoping to expand and reach out more to the locals and get them in the gallery for a fun time, get the artists in here to show with us, and I guess just create this space here in Seaport Village, and let's take advantage as artists to.
Oh yeah. So how to find you online?
Our website is artscenewest.com. That's a hub for all the things that we do, submissions, our events coming up, our painting parties. You can buy your tickets there, and our online gallery. And we have a shop too. So it's a one-stop for everything that we do here in the gallery. We're on Instagram. We have 2 Instagrams. We have one I started when we first opened up here in the gallery. We have the main Instagram that was started before I got involved. So they're just Art Scene West, and then the gallery account is at Art Scene West Gallery, and they're slightly different. We're still figuring out the gallery account. People are like, you should get rid of it and just have one, but I think no. I think I'm figuring that one out. We're gonna make it worth it. But yeah, that's our those are our handles. My name is Joshua. Our associate Noah, he's also in the gallery. The fantastic guy, helps us out a lot. And then the a founder, his name is JB. You could find him Sunday mornings and some mornings throughout the week too. Just the 3 of us right now. My mom, she also works here sometimes too. So
nice. Nice. The whole family.
That's right. The family.
Dad helped to build the panels. Mom's working in the gallery. That's cool. That's so cool. Alrighty. So yeah, and you guys please make sure that you are signed up to San Diego Art Directory.com. Our newsletters are coming out weekly, sometimes twice a week, because now we're having a lot of submissions on the website, so all of them don't fit in the weekly newsletter. So stay tuned for all the updates from Art Scene West. If you are in San Diego, or if you're taking a cruise and you have a stop in San Diego, that's the perfect opportunity for you to see some beautiful art that we have here. And with that, thank you so much. We're wrapping up, and I'll see you again in the art scene.